James Melendez, I have Schott Zwiesel. This is called Sensa. It's a red wine glass. I'll tell you all about it, so stay tuned. So I did a review of the white wine glass version, though I was sampling red wine from it. I believe you can taste any wine in any format, that is white wine in a red wine glass and vice versa. Now this is a glass that I was intrigued with because Sensa is going to be more like, I would say, the Zalto design, though Zalto, this is not a Zalto glass. I bought this glass because for me it appeared to be like a Zalto design. Now Zalto is preeminent, amazing, expensive, and I'm always hoping for something to be similar to, so that I'm not shelling out $60 per stem, and I have not found one. Now this particular wine glass, I have reviewed the white wine glass. I did put red wine in it, and I don't really think there's a big deal in doing that. I'll post that video right here. The reason I say that is simply that you could definitely do a white wine in this glass, which I've done, and you can do the other way around, which I did in that review, and that is the red wine in the white wine glass. To me, it's really important to experience that. And a lot of people I know have one silhouette. They have a red wine glass. That's all they have, because that's all they have room for. In bigger cities like New York or San Francisco, that definitely is the case for many people. Now, I definitely believe in having a red, white, and sparkling wine glass because I think it's really important to have these features. Now, I'm not a purist, and then I always have to have just red wine in a red wine glass and all that. I think it's a smart design. Now, I did look at this. This is a white wine glass, which I finally put white wine in this glass here. The review on that is, it's not my favorite. I do like the producer because I think the material is really strong. It holds up nicely, and it cleans up well. Now, what I don't like about the wine glass is, the bottom portion is a little diminutive compared to the silhouette. It's a large glass. The volume on this could easily fit probably half, if not slightly more than half, a bottle of wine if you fold it almost near to the top. Now, the features on this are, it's smart looking, modern, great. There are other wine glasses that are even much more, I would say, rectangular. Those are terrible glasses. I have reviewed those, and something that I just gave to a thrift store, even that was questionable on my part. I thought, should I even be doing that? The answer was yes, because it was a charitable, thrift store. But to have that wine glass was so uncompelling. It made the wine so linear. It was so uninteresting. You couldn't even swirl it, because if you did, the contents would fall out pretty easily, even if you didn't fill it up past the halfway point. This is something that I think is interesting because they perform very similarly, right? Because they are the same design. Now, they do swirl around. They stop very quickly. So if you compare this to a more bulbous or round-shaped wine glass, that's gonna go on for a little longer. To me, I think it's more exciting to see that, but I also think there serves a function in that. So the molecules are really heating up just a bit, not a lot. So that increases the scent characterization. So the molecules are giving off that notation, and very nicely done, I might add. But ultimately, I think it needs a little more of a natural capability of swirling and stopping on its own accord due to the physics, right? But I think this is something where it's nice, and I'm not so totally in love with this glass, but I have served white wine in it, and I would say if you had to buy one of these, I would buy the red versus the white. Stick a large part. Now you can really enter a lot of your nose into the wine glass, which I think is important, right? But ultimately, when you are smelling, the molecules are not just flowing out directly to your nostril. So there's a much more expansive space that the molecular structure is coming through, so you can smell that and experience it. And so that's the beauty of this. I think you're getting a fuller capture of that wine. Now, while I do find it a very beautiful design, it is a bit too flat here on the bottom. A little more rounding, I think, might help. So to me, this is a little too non-functional. It's not the optimum. The foot of it is a bit too diminutive, and ultimately it's not as exciting. But again, if I could buy just one, it would be the red versus a white wine glass. Point score on this is 91 points out of 100 points. The review of the white wine glass is 90 points. So when you look at it, they look identical, but ultimately I'll do a photograph so you can see the top portion, and ultimately that's where the magic takes place. And if I complain about the diminutive foot on this, on the red wine glass, it's even smaller on the white, and it doesn't look that pleasing visually. So I am a perfectionist when I look at my table, my tasting table and serving table. When I'm making dinner, yes, I do make food for people, but I really wanted to make sure that it's going to be a lot more sophisticated on the table. And so ultimately, these are not the best performing Schott Zwiesel glasses in terms of, I think, total use, total appreciation. They're not bad, but they're not the best either that they produce. So I think probably one of the better wine glasses, which is widely distributed out there, is Pure. So thank you for watching. You'll find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and WordPress. Thank you for watching today. Stay tuned for more. Salute.